This presentation seminar is based on the article Why Cordelia Must Die by John E. van Domelen. Cordelia must die in order for Lear to complete his journey of suffering, to obtain true and eternal love. There has always been an ongoing battle between two parties in the world, the Christians and the existentialists. Christians believe that God has everyone's lives planned out, and that there is eternal life in heaven. Everything we do and the things that surround us are all the result of predetermined fate that God made beforehand. Existentialists, however, do not believe that fate is predetermined by God. There is no otherworldly influence on what happens to each of us, and our fates are determined on each individual's actions. Now to these two parties, both interpret the play King Lear differently. They can see the play and use it to back up their respective values. However, there is one key scene in the play that both the Christians and existentialists seem to use to back up their theories, which is the death of Cordelia. At first glance, the death of Cordelia can be interpreted simply as the loss of innocence in the play. Cordelia is ultimately the most innocent and wholesome character in the play, making her a perfect candidate to carry out the theme. However, there's deeper meanings that come with her death, which makes it so that Cordelia's death just had to be done, which is heavily tied to the journey of suffering Lear takes throughout the play. First, we can take a look at the literal meaning of Cordelia's name, which means heart in Latin. Now, it is also not a coincidence that the word heart occurs 48 times in the play, the most it's ever appeared in any Shakespearean play. Additionally, the heart is also used in many key moments in the play. At the end of the play, Edmund has a change of heart. Goneril stabs her own heart and dies, and both Lear and Gloucester die of heart strain caused by mixtures of joy and grief in each of their situations. Lear undergoes his suffering due to his heart, or to be exact, what he does with his heart. Lear wears his heart on his sleeve, which means that he is very open and expressive of his feelings, rather than keeping them inside of him, hidden. He has no problem basing his actions on the passions of his heart. He assigns value to the priceless love of the heart, and he does not know the difference between the mute actions of the heart by Cordelia and the empty protests of pretended love done by Goneril and Regan. However, when banishing Cordelia for not being able to assign words to her endless, eternal love, Lear does something else that costs him more suffering. He detaches himself from his own heart. He says, "As a stranger to my heart, and me hold thee from this forever." This disconnection is what starts his descent to madness, as seen when he even banishes Kent, indicating that he has already lost his sense of judgment. Another key term in the play is the fool. Arguably, everybody in the play can be considered a fool in one way or another, or, as Lear says, a great stage of fools, even from an unbiased, objective perspective. Shakespeare displays a variety of fools in this play to depict the many things people base their hearts on. To make it clear, the characters each have a sense of heart whom they all follow. Lear follows his heart of pure emotion. Kent's heart is based on the enormous amount of courage he has. The fool has the heart of conscience. Gloucester's superstitious beliefs contains the heart of faith. Regan, Goneril, and Edmund base their hearts on the cruel rationalism and greed. However, it is Cordelia who embodies the truth at the heart of things, which is love. Cordelia literally represents love, and it is no one other than Lear who is put on a journey of suffering in order to obtain true love. But of course, when Lear encounters the literal representation of love herself, he is tempted into breaking out of his journey. He ends up wanting to take Cordelia's love as his own, and returning back to the old man of passion he was at the beginning of the play, without ever obtaining true eternal love. Even before Cordelia's banishment, Lear had planned to live with Cordelia, free of his responsibilities as king, which is basically his heaven on earth. But of course, he banishes Cordelia, so instead, he experiences hell on earth. After the long journey of suffering Lear endures, he is given one final test when he is about to be taken to prison with Cordelia. If he had retaliated and rebelled against going to prison, he most likely would have survived with Cordelia. However, he gave in to his temptations and chose a happy life in prison with Cordelia. So, since Lear was about to revert back to his old self, rendering his journey useless, Shakespeare uses his final ultimate move, deleting Cordelia. Cordelia must die to allow Lear to be able to reach that goal of obtaining true eternal love, now that his temptations are finally gone. Or should we say, dead. Which is why, when Cordelia dies, Christians believe his grief allows him to experience true eternal love towards Cordelia, and therefore, when Cordelia shows some sign of life again, Lear is overjoyed by the possibility that the person he now truly loves may still be alive, and dies of a heart strain due to that. But the question is, was that real? Or was that simply a delusion from Lear? Was the joy he experienced truly love? And does Lear possess the ultimate knowledge that love is rooted in eternity? A previous writing made by Shakespeare, Sonnet 116, refutes the fact that Lear had obtained true love. It says, quote, "Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove." This passage means that true love will never waver or change with anything. This can be said when comparing Cordelia to Lear. Cordelia's love never wavers throughout the play, while Lear's love is obstructed, rejected, and twisted. This disputes the Christian views, as this means that the path God set onto Lear to obtain true love was false, since he never finds it at the end. Existentialists believe all of Lear's sufferings were caused purely by his emotional values, and that the death of Cordelia, or should I say, the final hope of Cordelia's survival, shown when she allegedly shows signs of breathing, only fabricated the sense of love he suffered so much to obtain. In conclusion, the debatable question remains: was this journey of suffering a path set by God in order to allow Lear to truly obtain eternal love through the death of Cordelia? Or was his suffering made purely by his set of values, ultimately leading to his delusion and the thought that he had obtained true love? Tell me in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe.